how's it going everyone? Welcome back to the wonderful world of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. We got something quite interesting today which actually prompted me to make this video. We have a modder by the name of I'm not really sure how he pronounces his name, but he has gone in here and essentially added extra pipes, extra ladders, extra zip lines, extra grapple points that essentially gives us access in to different areas of the world that were previously unexplorable before. So I thought that this was pretty cool because this actually poses an interesting question. You know, we never got any DLC when Mirror's Edge Catalyst released. DICE sort of just, pushed it out there and forgot about it. But this actually poses an interesting question. Can modders essentially go in here and add in more explorable space to the world and give us more areas to kind of free roam and run around in with the City of Glass? And I think that this mod is the start of something potentially really exciting, which is why I wanted to make a video about it, to kind of spread the word and to give this guy more notoriety, because I think he's doing something really, really cool here. So I'm going to leave links to everything in the description of this video. If you want to download the mod yourself, you can go ahead and do that. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'm happy to answer some of the comments, but you can communicate with the modder directly through that link in the description as well. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get started here. I'm going to kind of casually play through and kind of check out what he's created, what he's built, and he's looking for feedback. This mod came out in like mid-July, and he's been working on it in his free time. So it was last updated at the end of September, it looks like. So for starters, we have this typical zip line here, which, took you down to that building and that structure. But he added in a zip line above, as you can see. And so if we want to use it, you can sort of get up here on the air conditioning units. Here we go. And now we can actually wall run and jump across and use this zip line, and look where it's taking us. It's all the way across to this end of the downtown area, which is pretty cool. I mean, the game is even like deloading stuff in the far background over there, which is pretty crazy. So that's pretty cool to see. And while we're over here, I'll show you different parkour elements. There's a corner pipe here, but he added in a corner pipe over here. You hang on this air conditioning unit and then use the pipes and you can kind of get around that way, and if you're approaching from this angle, vault, pipe, and then somehow, there we go, corner pipe, to get across to this angle here. So that's pretty cool to see. There's also a new ladder he added for a billboard. So if we go over here, and you're running over here, he added this ledge as well as this ladder. Climb up to this billboard, and then from here you can jump down to the landing pad below. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty neat to see. Now he's also added in some elements from like this game's pre-released footage. So if you remember, some of the stuff that we saw in like the trailers of the game were like removed when the game actually came out. And he's added in things back, essentially, from that. So people might remember this corner pipe on this hallway. He added this back in. So, just something small, but if you're a fan of Mirror's Edge, you'll recognize that that element was something that was missing from the trailers of the game. And I'm actually curious, if you can add in all these different elements, do the original animations for like the early versions of the game, do those actually exist in the game's files? Because some of those animations, like for example, where she swings around the corner there, I liked her original animation that was shown in the trailer, and they changed it when the game actually came out. So I'm actually curious if that's something that we can do. He also added a zip line to get you quickly up to this side of the building. Pretty neat. And then from here, you can kind of take the zip line down. So it's a quicker way to get up here without kind of parkouring across the vents here, the air conditioning units. And this is actually a big one. There's now a ladder on this side of the building. So if you remember, in order to get to the top here, you'd have to, enter here and then sort of run up these stairs and kind of make this big circle in order to get up to, the top of the building there. This saves so much time, being able to like run, jump up to the ladder, quickly climb up, and then you can just continue on your path without having to go around in circles and enter that building. That is one of the more useful additions to the open world that I've seen that actually does help in terms of you getting around in the more quicker way. So that's pretty cool. Now while we're over here, he added in more pipes. So you can actually climb up these pipes now. It's a bit... At first I didn't even recognize them, and then I had to watch, videos that showcased how he did that, so... But yeah, this is a pipe you can now sort of climb up and explore, so you can now get to the top of this building. And, in addition to that, he added in collision details to all of these pipes here with the Alcom advertisements on it. So you can actually vault. Now you're on top of this pipe, and you can, kind of swing to each one. I don't believe you can get up there. We can try, though. No. Yeah, it looks like we can't get up there, but, just cool stuff to kind of run around and figure out where you can go and where you can't go. This was an element that I really wanted to see in Mirror's Edge Catalyst when I heard it was an open world game. This is what I was envisioning, was that mystery, that alluring element of, can I make that jump? Can I get to that area of the world? And then trying to figure out what the best way to do it was, and then being rewarded with, different elements of, like, I don't know, collectibles, or just a nice view or something like that, where you got to the end of the city. Well, this mod actually, in a way, is giving me that same feeling that I really, really wanted. Now, we're right here, this area that I'm in right now is previously unexplorable. Before this mod was created, you could not get to this building. And I'll show you where we are. In fact, a lot of things here, like the ladder, don't have any collision on them. So, there's ways you can kind of get around it, but you gotta be kind of careful here. So you can get up on the building this way, but this building does not have collision at all. So if I, try to see if I can hang. Yeah, you can kind of just phase through the entire building. So certain things don't have collision. You kind of have to play around with it and see, what works best. But we can climb up here onto this end of the building. And, we can continue down further, but I'll show you that there's multiple ways to do everything. So he added in a zip line right here. Almost fell, too. And this gets you back to, the explorable space. And while we're at it, I'll show you something actually really cool. So if you played the beta of the game, you might remember this pipe right here on this side of the building. Well, he added in this pipe, and apparently this pipe right here is what inspired him to create this beta, or I'm sorry, this mod in the first place. Was seeing this small pipe removed from the beta, and it doesn't really serve much of a purpose in terms of game design. I can see if you're coming from this direction, using that pipe to swing and propel yourself forward. It's a cool small little thing, but it doesn't make a night and day difference. Well, oh, this is new too. You can actually get to the top of this building. Here's my Cameron's Rage, time trial that someone created for me. This zip line is also new. And from here, this corner pipe. So that's pretty cool. All these small little details that you just, they seem like they are always part of the world, but they weren't. And that's what's so impressive about this, is that it doesn't seem like he's gone in and kind of ruined the art direction, where it kind of feels more like a playground than an actual city. He's carefully fine-tuned all the elements to make sure that, where there's a pipe or where there is something to grab onto, that it makes sense. Now, this grapple point to the top of this building, brand new, the Parandella building. This is huge. We can grapple all the way up here and get to the top of this building, and now we have this incredible view of the entirety of the downtown area in Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I mean, look at this. Gorgeous. A lot of the buildings are sort of untextured and don't have much detail on top of them, but still very beautiful. I would actually like to see, as a suggestion, to have a zip line going from here to maybe that area that we just were with that Runner Cabal area, or maybe the area right below it. I would like to see a zip line going all the way down there, just as a quick suggestion, because that would be pretty cool to, mag rope up here and then jump down and use the zip line to get all the way down on that side. That would save a lot of time. Now, he's not done. He added in a swing right here, so we can mag rope and swing all the way across to this building. And now we have, again, previously unexplorable space we now have access to. So we can jump down here, mingle with the rest of the polygonal crowd. There are a few things that, they don't have collision, or things just aren't working properly. For example, if I jump down here, there's an invisible, floor that essentially prevents you from falling down to the bottom floor. So you want to make sure you don't get stuck. But from here, and it continues further. So if we jump, get back up, and then use the mag rope to go all the way on top of here, the Bryson building. I mean, it just keeps going. Now we have this even more incredible view of the entirety of downtown. Look at that. And all the buildings in the background. It's incredible. Look, you have the bridge going to the other part of the city that we just couldn't see or, couldn't go to before. The Anansi building, there's the Shard and all that stuff. It's just awesome. And again, there's all these other areas you can kind of play around with and explore. You might ask yourself, how do I get down from here? There is a landing pad down there, and yes, she can actually make this jump. You jump down to that landing pad, and I'll actually show you that in a bit, but I wanted to actually add a critique, if I could. So you can go over here and actually kind of carefully fall down to, this bottom portion of the building. But once you're here, you don't really have a means up. Yeah, you can climb back up the scaffolding, and, advanced players can do like a wall run turn and just make their way back up that way. But I would actually prefer if he added in like a long ladder or maybe some pipes and stuff like that to basically get to the top of this building a little bit more quicker than just, kind of messing with the scaffolding here. The only way I found to get back is to actually shimmy across the edge of this building, just like this. We're going to shimmy across, and we're going to jump from the ledge onto that landing pad. And yes, she can actually make it, which is even crazier. But what I'm doing right now is exactly, when I thought of an open world Mirror's Edge, this is exactly what I was envisioning. I wanted the alluring question of mystery. Again, could I make that jump? Could I get around to that edge of the building? And that was something that Catalyst unfortunately did not offer. So we're going to jump. It looks like she's going to fall to her death, but she's going to make it. And wow. I mean, that's just absolutely insane. So that's really cool. While we're here, we'll go down and go back over here, because where that previously unexplorable space was, he's added in a few different ways to get across it. So from here, we can go up here, and if you kind of cross this corner, there is a zip line that takes you back down to the area we were at previously with those pipes and everything. But there's actually an even alternative way to actually doing that. From here, he's added in all these pipes to get to the roof of that building. So from here, you can actually vault. And again, this is all new. Use this corner pipe. There's a grapple point, which is how you get back from being over here. And then from here, you can kind of jump onto the zip line and get across that way. But you could also go even further and use the pipes here to get to the roof of this building. And you can actually slide down on this building. Now, unfortunately, every single time I've tried it, Faith cannot make the jump. In fact, I guess we might as well try it now, just for shits and giggles. So we try it. As you can see, she even phases through the zip line. She doesn't grab the zip line. So I don't know if there's a way for you to maybe add in a way for her to jump a little bit further, but actually what I would suggest, and we'll wait for this game to load so I can show what I mean. What I would suggest is that you add a grapple point at like the end of the building there. So as you're sliding down and she's about to fall to her death, if you time it correctly, she can grapple herself and pull herself upward. to reach that building. So that's what I would suggest in order to make that slide a little bit more usable, because otherwise you're just sliding to your death. But from here, you know, we can jump to the zip line, and then this gets us to, again, the unexplorable space that we didn't have access to. So there's the zip line that I took across, but this thing goes on even further, which is pretty cool. So for one, you know, and again, you kind of have to take a look at where you can jump and, you know, what you can actually do here. Almost didn't make it there. But yeah, we can get to the roof of this building. That building is the one that doesn't have collision. And then from here, we can make a jump to that building across. Here we go. So now we've made a jump across. We're in an entirely different area. Some more civilians here. You can keep kind of going further, exploring what's over here. I mean, all of this is just so cool. It's so cool, because you can imagine the potential, you know, and this is kind of what I wanted. I wanted the city, you know, to feel like a maze, and I think the Anchor District felt like a maze at times, which made it very interesting to kind of parkour around. You got lost when you were first sort of, you know, exploring the Anchor District because of just the way everything was laid out. A lot of stuff kind of, you know, looked similar and kind of disappeared just in the geometry of the world. But that is what was exciting to me, was just the idea of sort of the question of whether or not you can get to somewhere. And again, Catalyst did not have that, but this mod has done a great job of just giving, you know, that feeling like you're exploring the city again. So as you can see, you can keep falling down and you can get to this end of the building, and it sort of ends here. Once you're on this side, you can kind of go down just a little bit, but you can't really, you know, go anywhere from here. It's sort of a dead end. What my suggestion would be for this part of the world would be to have a macro grapple point up to that ledge. And once you're there, maybe on top of that building, you can take like a zip line that takes you back to the actual explorable space of the open world. I think that would be pretty cool. Because at the moment, once you're here, you have to actually backtrack and go all the way back to another exit point of this area. Again, there's no ladders. All the ladders don't have collision. Oh, almost made it. So yeah, I would actually like it if we had just some options like that, to have like a mag rope that goes up. There's no way for us to sort of, well, once we get here, there's nothing for us to do. You know, we can only backtrack. So let's see if I can actually get back to the world. God, I'm doing horrible right now. Come on, Volt. There we go. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I mean, we have this building over here. Again, you know, since the game developers never, you know, they didn't design this portion of the city because you weren't supposed to be over here in the first place, so some stuff is missing from, you know, the geometry's kind of out in the open there. Some buildings over there you'll see are completely untextured. It's just interesting because it gives you this really interesting perspective into like the design of the city and what the developers were thinking of when they were putting this whole thing together. Yeah, I can't even go over here. So I just find it really, really cool to sort of be able to have this freedom of being able to explore these different parts of the city. And again, the potential is absolutely insane. So I'm hoping that he continues his work and we see, you know, more stuff being added, and not just to, you know, the Triumvirate Drive, but all the districts and stuff like that. She's having a hard time. There we go. She has a hard time vaulting on that. Yeah, so in order to exit, this is what you have to do. Well, you have to find a way up there, I guess. Why is she holding that ledge? There we go. Okay. So yeah, when you play this yourself, kind of experiment around with what you can do, what you can't do. And of course, more skilled players are going to be able to just, you know, leap across and stuff like that. For example, this building does not have collision. You can walk right through it. And this is too high of a ledge for her to grab, so what you have to do is wall run and then turn into the staircase here and then use that to pull yourself up. And yeah, you can go all the way down the staircase here, you know, just kind of infinitely down to the floor. I'm not going to do that, but we'll climb up out of this and then we'll use the mag rope to get ourselves back to the actual explorable space. So essentially, at least as far as I'm aware, that's what he's added so far to the open world. I think there's a few more pipes on like this building or maybe a couple of other buildings and stuff that he's added. So you kind of have to play around with it and see, you know, what she can grab, what she can't grab. And he's created a great video kind of showcasing all the different elements. And like I said, you know, he's working on this in his spare time. So the idea that everything will be updated, more stuff will be added, more districts will be added. Very, very, very cool stuff. But I wanted to make this video to sort of highlight the cool potential that this mod has, and just to let that guy know that he's doing fantastic work. I mean, this is just really cool. And again, you know, we didn't get DLC with Catalyst. It was one of DICE's greatest sins, in my opinion, because the potential for DLC alone would have been something pretty cool. They could have elaborated on any of the side characters even. I would like to have like a DLC prequel story regarding Celeste and the whole story from like the comic of the game be an actual playable element of the game's, you know, like the game's prologue or something like that. That would have been really cool, but we didn't get anything like that. But thanks to the awesome modding community, we can keep this game still alive. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, you know, again, I'll leave links in the description of this video so you can download the mod yourself, check it out, give the guy a shout out and let him know he's doing a great job. And again, any suggestions that you have, you want to spend more time with this and sort of really provide your feedback, he said he's looking for that he wants to get everyone involved, so this is pretty cool. Alright, I'll see you guys later. Thank you very much for watching.